There's a kind of silence, louder than any scream. A man alone, not because he was left behind, but because he chose to walk away. Away from the noise, away from the applause, away from the crowd that wanted him to be smaller, softer, more acceptable. They'll call him antisocial, emotionally unavailable, dangerous. But what he really is free. And in a world built on neediness, dependency, and validation addiction, freedom is the greatest threat. This is the story of the man who needs no one, the man who found his strength, not in dominance, but in solitude, the man who, once he needed nothing, became untouchable. Let's begin with a simple truth. Most people don't want freedom. They want comfort. They don't want truth. They want approval. They don't want solitude. They want company, even if that company is shallow, toxic, or fake. And then there's him, the one who walked away, not because he hates people, but because, finally, he stopped hating himself. And that made him dangerous. Nietzsche once said, "He who cannot obey himself will be commanded." Society thrives on obedience, on conformity, on dependency. Because when you need others to feel whole, you are easy to control. That's why the man who needs no one is feared. He doesn't buy what's trending, doesn't chase women to feel manly, doesn't attend parties to feel included. He walks his path, eyes turned inward, vision beyond the surface. And maybe, just maybe, you felt it too. That ache when you're surrounded by people, but your soul feels homeless. That hunger for depth in a world addicted to surface. This message is for you, not for the mask you wear, not for the voice you imitate, but for the whisper in the night that says, "I just want to be free." Carl Jung called it the shadow, the part of us we bury, deny, repress. And for many men, that shadow is neediness, not the kind that cries, the kind that performs, that smiles when it wants to scream, that provides while dying inside. You see, we're taught that needing others makes us human, that dependency is connection, that vulnerability is exposure. But true strength is not in giving your soul to be validated. It's in becoming whole enough that you can give without losing yourself. The man who needs no one has faced his shadow, held it, named it, made peace with the part of him that once begged, and now he walks without hunger in a world that feeds on desperation. We often hear, humans are social creatures, but not all togetherness is nourishing. In fact, most of it is noise. Fear wearing a smile. You cling to the crowd, not because they see you, but because you're afraid to see yourself. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, spent more time in inner dialogue than outer. He ruled millions, yet always returned to the quiet corners of his mind to ask, was I just today? Was I honorable? Did I live by my code? He chose solitude, not to escape, but to align. The man who needs no one learns this truth. You don't become powerful by being seen. You become powerful by learning to see yourself. We speak of addiction like it's only about substances, but today's most destructive addiction is approval. You measure your worth in likes, followers, hearts. You shape your truth to avoid rejection. You abandon your essence to be accepted. That is the real prison. But the independent man, he breaks free, not because he hates the world, but because he refuses to be enslaved by it. He detoxes from validation. He starves the ego that craves attention. And in that silence, something extraordinary happens. He meets his true self, and for the first time he realizes he was never lonely. He was just surrounded by noise. So what makes him truly powerful? He knows how to sit with pain without needing escape. He knows how to sit with joy without needing to display it. He knows how to be without needing to prove. This is emotional self-sufficiency, not coldness, but clarity. The clarity to know not every silence needs filling, not every judgment needs reacting, not every wound needs external healing. You learn to mother yourself, to father yourself, to forgive yourself. And in doing so, you become what no system, no media, no manipulator can touch: a sovereign soul. And that, dear listener, is terrifying to those who profit from your doubt. So, how do you begin walking this path? Start with these 4 pillars. Radical solitude. Choose time alone, not to escape, but to confront. Journal. Meditate. Walk without your phone. Reconnect with your mind's original voice. Emotional minimalism. Don't over-explain, don't overshare. Keep parts of yourself sacred. Silence is power when it's rooted in self-trust. Principled living. Define your values, not what culture or family told you. What does honor mean to you? What do you believe in when no one is watching? Selective connection. Don't isolate, but don't settle. Build slowly with those who respect your solitude, not those who fear it. So why is the man who needs no one the ultimate threat to society? Because he doesn't react, he reflects. Because he can't be manipulated by shame or seduced by praise. Because he doesn't panic when left alone, he becomes more powerful. He remembers who he is in the silence. He builds his kingdom inward, not outward. And in a world of emotional beggars, he walks like a king who needs no crown. If something stirred within you while listening, don't ignore it. It's not just inspiration, it's recognition. A part of you has always known that you were meant for more than performance, more than applause, more than fear. That part of you is ready to lead. So tonight, sit in silence, not to escape, but to listen, and ask yourself, what would my life look like if I stopped needing permission to live it? You don't need to shout. You don't need to prove. Just walk your path, unapologetically. Alone if you must, because the man who needs no one is the man no one forgets. And if you felt your own voice echo in this message, give it space to grow. Subscribe to the channel, not to follow us, but to follow yourself. Each time you sit in the dark, searching for a light that isn't seen, but felt, we'll see you in the next shadow.